welcome back to the channel everybody, and today a brief video unboxing of a new game that's arrived this week, The Most Terrible Battle, Borodino 1812 from White Dog Games. One again I've been looking at for a while. Do love the Napoleonic period. I've got another White Dog title, Orwell 1811, which is superb, and although by a different person this time, I've sort of loved the artwork, loved the idea of the game, again being an introductory war game, hoping it will be a simple game of what is a very large battle with lots of different elements. So hopefully there'll be some scenario play in here, and some ideas for wider war games generally as well. I've got quite a large French Napoleonic army based around the Grande Armée, sort of 1812 period, so I'm hoping to get some inspiration from the game. Typical kind of White Dog Blue Panther box. This is all shrink wrapped at the moment. Again, quality box, quality components, I'm sure. What we can see on here is this is a 2-player game which should last 1 to 3 hours, so good time scale. You've got a low level of solitaire suitability here at number 3, and a level 5 complexity, so sort of middle of the road in terms of complication. Game design is by Michael Kennedy himself. Development of the game by Dale Gutt, and artwork by the usual artists that they use, and the art is generally superb. Components, we've got one map, we've got 141 double-sided counters, 32 disordered fog of war square formation markers, game turn marker, 4 pages of rules, I like that, not too many of those, an 8-page example of playbook, so again hopefully lots of examples to get you immersed. And then you've got one double-sided setup sheet and 2 double-sided tables and charts and cards. So you've got a CRT, combat results table, and a turn track card as well. So quite a lot in this box. And what we've got on here is just a brief overview of the battle itself. I'm not going to kind of read that out, but predominantly a summary of the game here. It's a hex and count introductory board game at division level. So included in the game are the setups for the meeting engagement, fought on the 5th of September 1812, Borodino redoubt, as well as the main battle fought 2 days later. So should offer some different elements to the gameplay and a little bit of longevity. But let's get into the box and see what we've got. So let's just get the shrink wrap off first. So I got this, as I do any of my White Dog, Blue Panther, Horror Steel type games, from Second Chance Games in the UK. Always good service, great little game shop, and I'm sure always grateful of your support. So as we can see there, the artwork is gorgeous on the front. As I say, usual style of box. And on the top we've got the rules in the usual kind of layout that you become used to with White Dog Games. Very clear, concise fonts, nice numbered elements, some colour as well, and some bits highlighted in red for some sort of important things there, but nothing in there at all that would cause any major concern. I'm sure couple of read-throughs and we would be able to get going on the table there. So that looks good. Say 4 pages, not much to really talk about there. In the same style, we've got the example of play. I must just say the smell coming out of the box, I do love the smell of the cardstock paper that they use. But anyway, getting sidetracked. The examples of play, we've actually got 5 elements to this booklet, 5 bits that they're going to cover. So again, without going into detail, we can see there some really good information that will really help play the game. I may well start reading this before I actually read the rules, but that's, I'm sure, going to be really helpful. Very similar to what Michael did with his Antietam game, which I believe I've shown on the channel. I will have to check that one, but I was involved with a lot of the play testing of that. This looks very similar in terms of its format. Then we've got a turn track, combat results table, nice and easy and clear. Designer's notes on the back, again, really good. And then we've got a couple of these game tables or quick reference sheets, whatever you want to call them. Again, just on reasonable cardstock. You could put them in a little sleeve if you wanted to. You could probably even laminate them if you needed to. Not sure you would need to on either of those situations unless it started to get a bit gnarled up, but again, nice and clear. You got your terrain parts on there, so in theory you could have 2 laying side by side, and you can have your main table and then your terrain table next door to it, so that works quite well as well. We've got game setups here, so we've got the main engagement and the small engagement and army lists, so again, really good. And then we've got counters, 1 sheet. Again, as always, look good thickness as you come to expect with their games, and again, it looks like they're very good. Easy to understand graphics and fonts on there as well. So this is the back part of those counters, and then we've got the front here, but not too many. Again, bearing in mind this is a big battle, but this is at divisional level, so yeah, looks really good. And I'm sure these counters will need a little bit of nursing out, they always do. You have to sort of cut along the little parts here just to feed them out, because of the thickness of them, but as long as you're careful, they should be fine. And then we've got the map, and again, it's this really lovely paper stock that you come to expect from their maps. I can tell already the artwork is going to be lovely. I'm going to get this out on the table so you can have a bit of a closer look. I think in terms of initially, certainly to kit it laying flat, because obviously it folds in the box, you'd be using plexi over the top. I'm hoping in due course we may also have an option to get a canvas version of this, because it was, again, would be lovely. But let's get it onto the table and show you what that looks like. So what I've done is just taken my camera off the tripod I use and just sort of zoomed out, so hopefully you can get a feel for this. But I'm going to move in just so you can get a bit of a closer look at what is the artwork on this map, which is superb. So this, I believe, was the area where the Poles were involved in quite a famous action at Utitsa. You then move around, you've got the rivers, you've got some of the redoubts which were very famous in the battle, and again you've got Some really nice artwork in there, bridges, the Grand Redoubt, Borodino itself, some of the other outlying villages and towns, some of the Fletches, etc. So hopefully you can get a really good feel for that. It is a lovely map, and as I say, I think you would need to sort of have this under plexi initially because of the folds in the paper, but it's a really good stock of paper, and therefore it's going to wear very well over a long period of time. But I think plexi would just help it ping, and it's a map that you need to study carefully before playing the game, I would suggest, because there is a lot more detail on here than at first glance you can see. But hopefully that's given you a bit of a flavour of this game. It's been out a little while now. One that hasn't necessarily got a great deal of marketing or kind of presence online. But I think from what I have read, the general reviews have been very favourable. And looking at the components, looks like it's going to be a really interesting one. So hope to bring you a bit more on this in due course, but hope you've enjoyed that initial unboxing of Borodino. That's 1812, The Most Terrible Battle by White Dog Games. And thanks for watching, and see you again soon.